Hello there, folks. This quick video today is going to show you a way that you can use the network ping test to see if a device is able to be pinged from the redline HMI, and if it is not, then you can do a commit and reset on the HMI and restart the HMI. I've got a customer that's trying this right now. They've got something's going wrong with their PLC communications, and for some odd reason on their network, they find that if they cycle power to the HMI, everything comes up and starts working. So what I've done here in this test example is I've written a simple program over here in the left in programs, and what I've got going is a program here that has a counter. And by the way, I call this program once a second on tick in the display pages, and I'll show you where that's at. But the program is pretty simple. I basically do a my counter, and when I get to about 10 seconds, I check to see if the device is there, and then I also have a fault indicator. So I'll talk about that here in a second, but I count to 10, and at number 10, I take the IP address I want to ping, which is this one right here, at 14, and I put that into this network ping function. And if that comes back as a 0, then I know it wasn't able to ping it, and then I'm going to reset a fault counter, and I'll do a commit and reset, which will cycle power to the HMI. If this comes back as a 1, that means I am able to ping that device. And in that case, I just restart the counter. So every 10 seconds, I do this. One of the reasons I do the 10 seconds is because when it powers up, I want to give the network at least 10 seconds for this thing to get on the network to see things. So I'm giving it 10 seconds by doing that. And then what the fault thing here does, I got to thinking about this. Well, what if the PLC never comes up at all? Well, this screen's going to sit there and just reset every 10 seconds. And I finally decided, I said, you know what? After 4 retries, this thing will stop resetting, will stay up, and then you could have a pop-up window or says something that, hey, we timed out, we didn't try anymore. And what I've done in that case is, let me go over here to the display page, I've created a reset all button here that resets my counter and my fault back to 0, which will run that code again. So here I am on the display page. If I go over here to the left and click on pages right here, and you can see team right here in the global tab right here on the on tick, I'm basically calling that program right here. So if I go over to the right side, click programs, and all I did is I dragged this program right here into the on tick. The on tick is once a second. So that's over here, click pages, global tab, that's where I'm at. So if I download this to the screen, let's go ahead and download it to the screen right now. There we go. And then if I go open up the web browser, watch, it should refresh here. Okay, so here's the web browser for this thing. You can see right here, these numbers are talking here. That's what it's pulling. It's pulling another HMI just for something here. But you can see here the counter goes through, and there's the IP address, and it gets back a ping of 1. If this ever gets back a 0, then I will do a commit and reset on the screen, and I will do the counter. So right here to the right of me, or to the left of me, is this other screen, right, this guy. This is my simulated PLC, and this is the one that is generating all these numbers. So if I go here, this is the one that we're testing. I'm going to physically disconnect this Ethernet cable out of here. So I'll wait till that 10. Okay, there we go. Okay. So I just disconnected the Ethernet cable on this guy. And look here, these numbers are now just static. Now watch what happens here when this gets to 10. Look. Okay. Now the web browser right now doesn't show it, but the real HMI just turned off and is in the process of rebooting. And I'll plug back in my Ethernet cable here. And let's see if I get this to refresh here. Come on. Oh, come on, you PC. I'm trying to get so you guys can see it before it should be started. Okay, here it's counting again. Look, here it is. Look, the fault counter is at 1, so it just timed out 1 time. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the Ethernet cable once again. I got the Ethernet cable. Look, the numbers here are static. Watch what happens at number right here. Boom. Notice how this all stopped. The real HMI once again is cycling power. So I'm going to plug this Ethernet cable back into this HMI. And I'm going to go back here and see if I can get this thing to, let's see if it'll refresh here. Wait for HMI to boot back up. And we'll do it this way. Let's see. Oh, come on. All right, let's see here. All right, there it is. Look, team, the fault counter is at number 2 because I've done it twice now, so it's automatically counted up. And you can see the counter here. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect it once again. And look, it changed to 3. Again, you guys can't see it here with the web browser. I should have a camera on these things, but it has reset there on my, I can hear it just beeped. So it's coming up on power. I'm going to leave this on. See if this will refresh. Let's see. And I'm going to leave the other thing disconnected this time because I want to see, will this reset? There we go. Let's see what it does here. I think I just wasted my 10 seconds there because it already went by. Yeah. Yep, it just cycled to 4. So hold on, let me do this. I'll go back to here, let it reset power. I'm gonna hit remote view. Let's see if we can get it this time. Ah, come on. Well, it's resetting again because I still have that Ethernet cable unplugged. So it's went through a couple itinerations here. And see if I get the web browser to come back up. It's cycling power. All right, go here. All right, team, look at this. We're at fault number 5 here, and you're going to see this counter is going to keep counting up because it has already triggered 4 consecutive times, or 4 times in this case. And because of my code over here, right here, I'm asking, well, I'm doing both things every 10 seconds, and I say if the fault is less than or equal to 4, it would do this check. Now that it's past that, what I'm saying to you is that this thing has done 4 consecutive, actually 5 consecutive tests here. And rather than keep this thing cycling over and over again, I don't run this code anymore once this fault number is greater than 5 or greater than 4. So that explains why right now this counter is just going to keep counting up forever and ever. And you see how these are dashed lines here? So I'm going to go ahead and plug this back in my PLC. Okay. So I got it plugged back in. This should come back to life. Let's see here. I think I plugged it. Yep. Okay. Yep. There you go. You can see that. Now the test won't work again. It won't even execute again until I reset all these. So here I am. I see that we exceeded the amount of tests, and so now I'm going to click the reset button. This button, let me go over to Crimson before I press it so you can see what it does. I go here to display pages, right click on this reset all. All this button does, team, is on the action tab here, on the action tab. Right here, pull down, I've got selected user defined because I want to do an on released function here. I always teach, make sure you use the on released. And in the on released, I'm going to click this complex here. And when I do that, I'll show you this is all I have for code. It's pretty simple. I basically have dragged the my counter tag out to here and made it equal to 0. And I dragged the fault tag out here and made it equal to 0. That resets both of those when I push that button. So here, I'll show you. If I go back to the web browser, notice the counters going on. I'm going to hit the reset all. This should reset to 0, and this should reset to 0 as well. There you go. And now watch. When it gets to number 10, or actually 9, 0 through 9 here, you're going to see it's going to get the IP address, or it's going to put it in here, and then this is going to go to 1. Perfect. One other thing that's very important on the fault thing, because I'm using that to cycle power and I want to keep that number, one little caveat there, team, is at the tag level over here on the left, go to data tags, at the tag called fault, which is what I have right here, you can see right here that I made that retentive because every time that thing cycles power, I want it to keep track of what it was. So the next time it comes up, it's at 4, and then when it gets to 5, I won't run that test anymore. So I make that as retentive. Anyway, that's just a simple example showing you how you can use the commit and reset with the network ping test. It really comes down to, quite simply, it's right here in the programs. This is the program. Maybe I'll make it a little bigger like that. Again, the program's pretty simple. I should see if I can put this in the YouTube so you can just copy it. But I have my counter equals my counter plus 1. That increments up to number 10 right here. And I have a compound if statement. I mean compound, I'm asking two conditions. If my counter equals 10 and double ampersand signs, I don't know why I have another space here, but and two ampersand sign, and then I say if fault is less than or equal to number 4. So if those two conditions are true, only if these two conditions are true, will I execute all the code that's in between these guys. And then I come in here, I say, okay, I do the IP address, this and then I ask another question within this loop. I say, hey, if my ping status, if it happens to come back as a 0, which means I'm not able to ping the device, then I set my fault to fault plus 1, so that increments my fault, and then I call the commit and reset, and that's what cycles the power on the HMI. And this program, again, team is all called over in display pages, on the word pages up here, global in the on tick. Anyway, just thought I'd show that off. If you want to copy this database or anything, don't be afraid to send me an email. I'll be glad to share it with you guys. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.